In this video, we'll learn some of the basic properties of sound. These apply to any type of sound, whether it's musical sound, ambient sound, voices, you name it. They also apply to both recorded sounds as well as sounds that you'd hear in real life. All sounds have a pitch. That's what gives a sound its perceived highness or lowness. Pitch is controlled by the frequency of sound waves traveling through the air. That frequency is measured in hertz or cycles per second. We can hear some examples of pitch with this tone generator. When I click the play button, we're generating a tone at 440 cycles per second. As I increase that frequency, the pitch of the sound gets higher. When I decrease the frequency, the pitch gets lower. All sounds have a property of loudness. This is also called the volume, amplitude, or intensity. Loudness is measured in decibels. And here in our tone generator, we can adjust this volume slider to control the loudness. So as I slide this to the right, my tone gets louder. As I slide to the left, loudness decreases. Sounds also have a property called timbre, and that's the unique combination of frequency, harmonics, and overtones that gives a sound its character. Timbre is what helps you to distinguish one person's voice from another person's voice, as well as telling one musical instrument apart from another, even if they're both playing the same pitch with the same loudness. For any given sound, we can describe the way its volume changes over time. And one way of describing those changes is called the Adsr sound envelope. This is often visualized with a graphic called a waveform, which maps the volume of a sound over time, like this simplified version on the right. The first part of the Adsr envelope is called attack. That's the speed at which a sound builds from silence to its peak volume. The second part is decay, which is the time it takes for the volume to drop from its peak to its sustained level. Sustain is the length of time a sound will maintain volume after reaching its peak. And the release is the time it takes for a sound to diminish back into total silence. And that's where we get our Adsr acronym from. Let's look at some examples of Adsr envelopes in Premiere Pro. Now, I'm showing you the clips this way so that we can look at the waveform patterns of each one as we play it. So when I click play here, we'll move through the 4 different phases: attack, decay, sustain, and release of a synthesizer sound. Let's look at one more from a symphonic violin. Now, not all sounds have all 4 components of Adsr. So this example of a gong has just an attack followed by a release, so no decay and no sustain. Obviously, these are all musical examples of Adsr sound envelopes, but those 4 sections, attack, decay, sustain, and release, can be applied to any type of sound. It's just easier to demonstrate this way since we can control musical instruments much more easily than other types of sounds. Okay, that's an overview of some of the basic properties of sound.